Hi, I am Julia and I am back today with the sort of second part of the swatching series, and today I thought we were going to do some swatching of this palette. Now this is my sort of original palette where I started to collect the watercolor paints that I started to make, and it has grown quite a bit, and to be honest, not all of them are in here. Some of the paints that are in here is not even like named, they're not official colours yet, so ooh, sneaky peek I suppose. But I thought we're going to do some swatching, and yeah, I'm going to do the same that I did with the traditional palette. I'm going to swatch them on 100% cotton paper from Kadhi. It is about 150 GSM, I think it is. It's quite thin, but just like a side note, I love Kadhi paper, and I have used the Kadhi journals. I don't know, this is my fifth one I think, and what I love about them is that it is cotton paper and they take so much water even though they're quite thin. They're not like great if you want to erase and do like a lot of tight stuff, but to be just loose, and anyway, I just wanted to mention that I love Kadhi paper. So as we go through the palette I will mention the colours, and I will have also painted them on black so you can see the different shimmers. So I will try very hard to show you how it looks, because I know it's very hard to see true colour through a camera and then take in consideration different screens and how different screens show colour, but I will do my best. I also will have my iPhone 11 set up next to it, and I'm only saying that so you know like what kind of reference. It's quite a new, so the camera should be good, and having that on the side so you can get like both angles. So yeah, let's get going. What I have done is I have painted them out on black paper so you can sort of see the shine, because you know metallics, they behave very differently, or they show up very differently. So my thinking is that I will paint out here and then I will just take and stick that one next to it, so then when we sort of hand over it's easier to see like how they behave on different ones. So let's do this in the same order, maybe would be good. We're going to start off with Emma. Emma is a colour from the Jane set. You can see that in this palette. It looks a bit used. And that is because it is. This palette I have very much loved, and I have refilled each of the pans several times. Okay. So here you can see, now I haven't pre-wet any of the metallics, and they usually need a little bit more convincing than traditional pigments to show up well. But here you can see it's a very nice, it has a very warm ground, and the shimmer is a little bit more brown or bronzy, I would say. Then another pearl we have in this collection is a Wentworth, and for this I will have to really dig in because it's not very much left in this pan here. My mom actually just made a new batch of Wentworth, so I could go out to the studio and get a new one, but there is still enough in here. So let's see, Wentworth. So this one I would say is just like in the middle of being pearl versus metallic. I would still classify this as a metallic, but it is very close to being more like a pearl finish. I would say the pigments are even finer in pearl, but it is very icy blue. And what I've done here is I just cover the backside with double-sided tape, so it will be easier to do this. So here we have Emma on the black one, and we have Wentworth So you can see it looks even more icy if you have a darker ground. That you don't need to have a complete black background when you're working with metallics to get the different kind of shine. Just having a darker ground, like green or blue or something that is a little bit deeper, will make a big difference in how the metallics shows up. Okay, so if we scooch over to this little palette, in here I have all of the house colors or the magical colors, and then also the pretty potion colors. So first up we have Felix Felicis, which is a traditional gold, I would say, but it has a chameleon pigment in it. The chameleon pigment is in blue and green, so it looks, I would say, very magical. I don't know if that will show up. I think it's a bit easier to see it here when it's dry, that you have a little bit of a green and blue shift to it. And then we hop right over to the other one in these sort of collection, I would say. It is Bellatrix. They came out as a duo with Draco right next to it. And if you want to see Draco or any other colors here, then just watch the video I put out before with the traditional pigments. All of those colors will be in that video. So here we have a silver base, and I wanted to make a little bit more different for this than just silver, so I added a chameleon powder in this one too. That is more of a pink and red shimmer, which I think looks really nice into this silver one. So here we have Felix with that blue-green shimmer. And this, of course, shows up very well on a darker ground. And then we have Bellatrix. So silver, but then it shifts into purple and red. Next up we have Veritas Serum, or the Truth Serum. And this one looks light blue in the pan. And it has a light gold shift, which makes it very fun to work with on light versus dark surfaces. Whereas on black paper, it's almost completely gold. So that, I think, is a very fun color to paint over like other things. Amortensia, which is a very, very fuchsia, powerful bluey pink. It is very close to being on the purple spectrum, but it is still pink. I would definitely still say it's pink. I have very strong opinions on where colors end up. And then the last one in the Pretty Potions is Drought of Peace, and this one has a base of indigo, which makes it that really rich and deep mass tone. And it has a lighter blue sparkle, which makes it a really fun color to use if you want to paint like a sky or space or anything like that. It's a very, very nice color to work with and to mix with, actually. So on black, you don't get this sort of same pink mass tone. You get more of that, just that pure shimmer of that really rich pink. And on the Drought of Peace, even though we get almost like very, very strong indigo here, we don't really get that much as a mass tone on the black, but we do get all that lovely light blue sparkle. And then we have the two metallic colors that came out in the new September update, and that is Siri and Öde. So in the pan it looks very peach, light pink, I would say. But as you can see, it has a very nice shift in blue. So very, very nice pearly finish on that one. But on the black, you can see it is very, very pretty blue. The other metallic colors in this set is Öde. This one takes a little bit more to re-wet because we have two different pigments in here, and we have one that is a very finely milled, that is a metallic silver base, but then we have bigger particles that is like gold glitter, and those takes a little bit more to re-wet, so just keep that in mind if you want to get a very thick opaque layer. So here you can see that, and you have those bigger golds floating in that, which I think looks very nice. And this color looks very similar to what it looks on the white as it does on the black. We still get the silver and then those bigger metallic pieces. That gold is just so fun. Okay, so now we can start using the proper palette. I do have quite a lot of metallic paints, I know. And I'm not mad about it one bit. So it is a bit crowded, however. So we are going to start with Erik, which is down here. And it is pretty close to Drought of Peace. We don't have that same dark mass tones, and this one is a bit more transparent in nature, but it has more a darker blue shift to it, or darker blue metallic pieces in it, I should say. And I would say it looks more true blue on the black paper, whereas the Drought of Peace looks a little bit, has a bit lighter of a shimmer, but they are very, very close. After Erik så har vi, we have, sorry, we have this color. It hasn't been in the shop for quite some time. It is named Julia, after myself, because I love blue. And this is a pretty true just blue, and it looks very similar both on white and on black, I would say. Not a very big difference. Then we have Albin, which is also more of a true blue. This one is a bit lighter and is a little bit more green leaning, whereas Julia is quite neutral blue. This one is a little bit more fresh, a little bit more, you know, summer sky kind of blue. Very, very, very nice. And it will look a little bit more pearly. Okay, so if we go down here, we're going to do Iris. This is one of those first colors that I had in the shop, and has always been very popular. It is one of those sort of mermaid colors, I would say. Very, very nice, very fun, bright color, and it looks very similar on the black paper as it does on the white. There's not a lot of difference in shimmer here. Okay, then we have a color that is a bit lighter and a bit more pearly, and that is Hedvig. Then I'm thinking we can put next to that Minty, just to see like how similar they are. So this is also a pretty pearly finish on this one. And even though I would say both of them are like mint or minty colors, Minty is definitely more green leaning, whereas Hedvig is more blue leaning. But both are very, very nice with that pearly finish. But they do look a lot lighter on black paper. So here you can see they still are like, they look very, very white. And that is that kind of pearly finish. But you can definitely still see the difference. Another color that we have that is also very pearly is Gunnel. So if we just jump over here, Gunnel has that sort of pearly finish, but it's more yellow. You see that? And on black paper, Gunnel is almost white. You can see a little bit of a difference. So there is a difference between these three. On the white paper it's definitely a difference, and not so much on the black paper. So I have a few that looks to be almost identical, and they are very similar, so I want to really show how similar or non-similar they are. And I feel like the best way I can do that is by putting them next to each other so you can really tell the difference. So if we start over here with Lucia, which is just, I would say, a pure traditional gold. Okay? That is pretty gold, you know, gold. And it looks pretty much the same on black paper as it does on the swatch. Now keep in mind it is still wet, and here on the black we see it, the dried version. Ginny came out as a duo together with Harry. So let's dig into this palette. It was not a lot of paint left in this one. Okay, let's see if we can get out. So in here you can see we still have this gold, but it is warmer. It almost has a red or a pink undertone. Okay, but they are still very similar. I would say that Ginny is more rich in tone than Lucia. Here we have it on black. Then I need to fix my camera. So here you can see the difference between on the black paper. If I do it like this maybe. That this one is warmer, whereas the Lucia is more yellow in tone. So that is the difference. More yellow and a little bit more red or warmer. Then also on the gold spectrum, if we continue on here, we have Gloria. And this one is more of a champagne color, I would say. Crap. So more neutral. The camera died again. So this one is very, very nice and one of my favorite when it comes to just use for accents. I really like having that kind of neutral gold color, and it looks very similar on white paper as it does on black paper. So not a lot of shift going on. It's very true to how it looks, I would say. Okay, so while the camera had a moment, I decided to go ahead and just glue these down on this page. Whoops, that didn't go very well. So how about we do it like this? Here is Sybil. So Sybil came out as a duo together with Helena. And just looking at it, it looked quite similar to Agneta and Glimra, so I decided to put those sort of three here so we can really compare it with those. And you can see there's not a lot of difference between Sybil on the white versus on the black paper. It's kind of similar, that's sort of what you get. And then if we jump down to Glimra, now this pan is well used. I need to make this color again so I can refill my pan here. So just based on the first swatch here, you can see that Sybil is warmer and richer in mass tone, and that Glimra is a little bit more on the neutral side. Then if we go down to Agneta here, let's see if we can get some color. You can see that Agneta is even more of a true rich copper. So I would say the most similar colors are Sybil and Glimra, and They are different, but they are still like, I would say they're similar enough that you would only need one, I would say. Okay, well that's just my opinion. Okay, let's continue on here. We have Balder. Now Balder looks like it is a gold one, but it's not. I'm very adamant about that. It has an ochre base with yellow glimmer. And you can see that it doesn't really have a mask tone on the black. You can just see the shimmer that is yellow. And here on the white paper you get a really nice, rich yellow color. So I would not describe Balder as a gold color, but a yellow with glimmer. Then we have Rosalie. It's over here. And I would say Rosalie is my ideal of a rose gold. And I'm trying to get the paint quite thick so you can really see. And I think you can tell it's a bit more pink on white and a little bit more gold on the black. So you get a little bit of a shift there. Then, whoops, we have Meta here. And Meta is, it doesn't really have a base color. It is more pure red shimmer. So on the black it will read as red glimmer, and on white it will read more orange, just because you will get the white of the paper showing through because you only have that glimmer. But that makes it perfect if you want to make a paint with red glimmer in it. Then it's really great if you want to have a color. Let's say you want something with purple glimmer, then try to find a purple paint that doesn't really have a base to it, just the glimmer. So if you want to have a color with red glimmer, this one is perfect to mix into it. Okay, what do we have later? We have Rosa. And when I'm swatching these colors and you're like, well, you're not swatching everybody, or you're missing, or I have a color that is not on this palette, and that's because, for example, I had a color was very similar to this one, Matilda, and I do have it in the palette, but I won't be swatching that one because I can't find that pigment anymore, so I don't make it anymore. And I do have that one, but other colors I have removed from this palette so that if I do something and share something, I don't want to be like, oops, I talk about this color that I don't have this shop and I will never make again. So I try to have this one as up to date as possible. Okay, we have Astor. I actually have two of Astor. I have one here, I don't know if you can see, and then one over here, but yeah. So Astor is like a coral base and with green shimmer. So you can see here on the white paper it looks very nice and coral with some sparkle, but on the green you can almost only see the green shimmer, which I think is very fun. Then moving on here we have Stina. Which I think is a really fun, very fun color. It's sort of like a dirty brownie pink. And you know how much I like my dirty colors. After that we have Britta, and that is a very similar color. Stina is very like the same, white on black. It will read a little bit whiter just based on the reflection to the camera, but it will read the same. Whereas Britta looks pretty much the same in the pan, but when I'm swatching it here, hopefully you can see the difference. Whereas Stina is more like a pearlescent finish, Britta is more metallic and more like sparkly, and I love this color so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I think you can tell. Yeah, it's not much left in the pan. Then we have Hedda. This is definitely a refill. Most of these colors have been refilled several times. header here. And this is also one of those like older, not as bright or vibrant color, but sort of an older looking pink that is leaning more blue, whereas Stina leaning more yellow on the sort of pinky side. And I would say all of these, Stina, Britta, Hedda, are very fun to use when painting flowers, because I feel like they add a little bit of shimmer and shine depending on which one you choose, but they don't take over, they just sort of enhance. So I really like using those three when I do that. We're going to go to Myken here, and Myken is, I would say, like a true sort of baby pink with a pearl finish, and that is just like straight up and down pink. And you can see, as most pearl colors, it reads more white on the black paper. And that is typical for pretty much all pearl color, because the luster, I think you call it, the reflection of pearl is mostly white. It doesn't really have a color to the reflection. That is the same thing. We're going over here to Signe. That is also a pearl color. This one is so very pale pink. It is so nice, but as you can see on the black, it reads very white, but it is a very light sort of, I would say, I think it would be described like a ballet pink or something. It is very nice. We're going over to Vendela. So this is another pearl color, but it is a lilac, and it is like my ideal lilac color, I would say. It is just so pretty, and it has that sort of pearly shimmer. So on black you can tell that it is lilac, but it's not as, it doesn't have that strong color as it has on the white. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. We're going into the purple and lilac color now, so I will say they're my favorite to all of them, just so you know. Yeah, then we have Estrid, and this is a little bit more of a desaturated purple. And in this purple, if you look close, you can find it has some both purple and copper shimmer to it, and that gives that sort of desaturated look, which I think is so fun. Yeah, I know, dirty desaturated colors, but you know what? I make watercolors. They are my own brand, so I can make whatever colors I want, and I want to make them dirty and desaturated. So we're going over to Ellen, which is not dirty or desaturated. It's actually a very rich berry color, I would say, and this is definitely one of my favorite colors. It's named after a very dear friend of mine. So you can see it has a rich mass tone with that sort of bluey purple, a warm bluey purple, but with and then you can see on the black you get that really pure violet shimmer. So yeah, this is definitely a favorite color. While we're over there, let's head into Viola. Also one of those colors I started off with, and I just made a new batch of that one the other week. Viola is named after my dog who passed away a year ago, and I named it after Viola because her name was Viola, like Violet Viola. And this also has a bit of a shift, so on the paper it looks like a cold purple, but on the swatcher you can see it is almost only blue. So that's very fun, so you get a bit of that duality there. The last one that I would count as purple is Odin. And Odin is a mix of green chrome oxide and purple shimmer pigment. So here you can see on black it looks just purple. I don't know if you can see that. Just purple shimmer. But here you can see once again that muddy. And when I was teaching in school, I brought all my colors to the kids so they could paint with them, and this was definitely a favorite. And it's so fun to paint like woods and that kind of stuff, because you get that sort of dark browny green, but then when you shift it you get that purple shimmer. So yeah. Okay, so then we have Elsa and Eden, and they look very similar in the pans. Here you can see see them, and if we start with Elsa over here, it is a white, but it doesn't really have any base to it. It is shimmer, and there's bigger pieces of shimmer, which is very fun to mix with other colors, or just leave it as it is. But here you really get that sense of glitter. It's not glitter, it is finer than glitter, but you definitely get that feeling, sort of ice or crystal feeling, which is very fun. Then we come to Eden, and a while ago I changed Eden, so before it was almost like seen like a pure white pearly pigment, but then I couldn't find that, so I decided to go with this one, which is very close to the same size of pigment. It is a little bit bigger, and so it's not as finely milled as pearl, but I actually like this one a little bit better. So you still get that pearly feeling, but you get a bit more shine. So it doesn't really show up much on the white paper, but here you can see it on the black, and that is just stunning. Okay, so that is this sort of red, pinky, purple, and now, just like last time, we'd say the best for last, and that is of course the green. So I'm just going to let this page dry, and then we're going to continue on and swatch out the other colors that are the green metallics. So we are finally back here and ready to show off the last colors. This video has taken a long time to make, but I feel like the big camera is finally ready to actually do some work. So let's hope that is so. I'm just going to put down these last ones. Let's do the last colors here finally. The swatching that never ends, I feel like. So we're going to start here. We're going to do Heimer. Heimer is a very nice traditional neutral silver color. Looks very similar on white paper and on black. I'm going to see how thick I can get that. That has been like the thing throughout swatching the metallic, is I really want to get a good solid look, but I don't want to spend too much digging into the colors either, because you know there's so many to swatch. So anyway, I just want to mention that, so you know that you can get a thicker or more opaque result if you just dig a bit more than I do. This is Estelle. It has a black metallic base, and then it's mixed with Elsa, and Elsa was this color and has those bigger particles that makes it look more like a starry sky. So here you can see you get a bit of metallic even on the black paper, but with the bigger particles. But using this on white paper is beautiful. If you like doing galaxy paintings or anything like that, I really like using a style for that. Then we have Loke, and Loke has also a black metallic base, but it has a gold shimmer, making it look really like old dirty metal. I know I used the word dirty again, but yeah. So you can see here you get that gold shimmer on the black too, but it's not as vibrant of a gold as it is the pure gold. So if you want to have a more of a muted looking gold on a darker ground, I would say Loke is a very good bet to go with. Okay, then we have Arvid. Can you see? So when I re-wet it, it looks sort of green. Can you see that? But it has a warmer shimmer to it. I'm trying to sort of move my brush a bit so you can sort of see. And you can also see that it's not like a proper color on the shimmer here. So this is actually has more of a green base, but it has copper shimmer to it because of copper roots, which is the inspiration behind this, named after my brother and his obsession with everything that has patina. Then we're going to go over here to Vidar. And Vidar is really fun. It is sort of like a muted cold green, and it is mixed with yellow metallic and a blue metallic, and of course that makes green. But when you work with making paints, and especially metallics, you have sort of like the base of a color, and then you have the sort of topper of the color, if you can call it that. So in this case with Vidar, because it is a yellow and a blue metallic that has been mixed together, it appears green. It is green, but if you look close to it, the shimmer is both blue and yellow. So I think that is very fun. So if you want something different, I really like this color. Then we have another green. We have Anton, and this one has a green chromium oxide as a base, and then light green, almost goldy shimmer. But it has a very strong base, so you get that like it is green with shimmer. Then we have, I would say one of the most popular colors that I have is Spira, and you can see I'm quite fond of it too because there's hardly anything left in the pan. Let's see if I can get anything. And this one is you know those first leaves in spring? It is so, that is just like filled with the chlorophyll. So this one doesn't have that sort of strong opaque base that Anton has. So yeah, very popular, and also very popular for me too. The last two colors we have Yuan, and Yuan is a darker green, and you can see on the black paper you have a very nice green shimmer, and on the white you also have that green shimmer. It just has a little bit of a darker base because it is on white, but it looks very similar. And then the last color I'm going to show is Ella. And this color is just amazing. Just like they're in between green and blue. So vibrant, so fun. And you can see that it looks very blue on the white paper, whereas on the black paper you can really see that the shimmer is blue and green. You can really get that sense, and I would definitely call this sort of like a mermaid unicorn color. So yeah, now that is all of the colors, all of the metallic colors that I have in the shop, or that I have officially. Of course, there are always new colors in the works, and I'm working on new colors all the time, but this is what I have right now, and I'm very happy with the colors that I have right now. So here you can see a sort of a spread of all of them, both on white paper and on black, and I hope this might help to see that if you find that they might look very similar on photograph, this is one way to sort of figure out what color you want or don't want. Maybe you have a color that just look just like something here. But yeah, and don't forget that even though these are metallics, you can mix them. The only thing is to bear in mind that they are a sort of a base color and then the shimmer part, and the shimmers will also contribute to the effect when you're mixing. So play around and don't be afraid to mix them and see what different colors you can come up with. So that is about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video and seeing all of the colors. I hope you have liked this video and that you will come back on Saturday for the next vlog, and until then I hope you have a really great time.